Good morning. I am on Big Carlos Pass on Sunday morning, and I just want you all to see what my usually beautiful, pristine beach looks like as a result of, in the short term, red tide, blue-green, algae, and consistently high Lake Okeechobee discharges. But in the long term, just complete mismanagement by the South Florida Water Management District, so inaptly named. So here we go. We're going to bear witness. For those of you who are easily upset, you might want to monitor how you watch this, because it is really, really gross and sad. So here it is. Honestly, I can't believe people are out here doing pleasure stuff. I just feel really bad for the people who have businesses, restaurants, tour companies, hotels. I mean, this is just nauseating. The smell is overwhelming. And, I think some companies are in a bind. They're not honest because they'll lose business. But if we don't bear witness, how are we ever going to change things? And I've never seen such a variety of species out here. Dead and just like minutes ago. They're not even rotten yet. Way up, like past the rack line. Could you let me know if you can see this? Anyone who's watching, just let me know if my filming is working. Thank you, Shevlin. Appreciate that. I hope you guys aren't getting so tuned out that it's like throw your hands up and say there's nothing I can do. I think an individual can do a lot here, and especially if there's supposedly 27,000 people on this page. Let's all bear witness. Let's all take photos. Let's all send articles to our elected officials, both at the, at local, county, state, federal levels. Go to meetings by the South Florida Water Management District. Go to meetings by the Army Corps of Engineers. It just defies any logic, and we're selling the lie of the Florida paradise when all of us continue to pump all sorts of fertilizers and plastic and don't say anything about the discharges. We've got to speak up. We've got to stand up. Oh, more dead seagrass. I don't know how much more seagrass can die. What are the manatees going to eat? I mean, that's assuming that the manatees can survive in these conditions. The water is like the color of diarrhea. I'm sorry to use strong language, but that is exactly what it looks like. It looks like diarrhea. And I don't know what's going to happen to these poor birds if they take a snack from these red tide ingesting these. Yes, Shevlin, please promote that meeting in the Cape. Very important. Get it out there. I appreciate all you're saying and doing. I'm like really gonna throw up here because the smell is so bad, but this is right in front of my apartment building, and I have to bear. This is Big Carlos Pass, Alyssa. You're looking out on one of the most gorgeous state parks, Lover's Key State Park. This is Big Carlos Pass. Over here is Estero Island, which is the island on which Fort Myers Beach is located. This is just the worst. And sadly, there was a young couple from Indiana who came to our building yesterday to an open house, and they had no clue. You know, the realtors are in a bind, like so many of the tourist-based industries down here. We sell them the dream. The dream is gone. And then what do you do? So, Alyssa, this is Fort Myers Beach in Lee County, on the border between Fort Myers Beach and across the way you see Bonita Springs, Lover's Key State Park. Thousands upon thousands of dead fish. And this is just the end of the island. I'm at the very end of the island. This goes all the way to Gasparilla. Like, we're talking Charlotte County. And the New York Times seems to prefer to just do Trump hysteria 24/7. And our governor doesn't care. From left to right, it's not a left-right issue. The news media just cares about nothing. They want to just talk about Trump all the time. Because people apparently don't want to bother to address real issues. They'd rather be talking about their horror about transgender bathrooms. And I'm not anti-gay, but it's just like, come on. We're in crisis here. We are in crisis. I come at this from a snorkeler's perspective. I know some of you are fishermen. I know some of you are boaters. I like to kayak and snorkel. And I'm sure some of you like to boat and fish, or just amble along the beach and feel that serenity that comes from being out on the beach. Sort of like our friends here in the critical wildlife area. But what are they going to eat today? There's nothing for them to eat. They naturally, unlike we humans, are visibly turned off by grotesque food sources. We continue to ingest oysters and crabs that are tainted by all sorts of toxins. We don't care. We just don't care. Come on, New York Times. Come on, PBS. You claim to be environmentalists. Where are you? Have you forsaken us? Come on, Fox News. You've done the best so far. Come on. Show up here. Cover this the way you cover wildfires, the way you covered Katrina, the way you covered the BP oil spill. This is happening now. Get your heads out of your you-know-whats over this Trump rage and that Trump. It doesn't matter what Trump says. Trump just says stuff. Look at what is happening. Report on it. My God. I don't want to hear any more outrage from the New York Times about Trump. I want them to get their asses down to Florida and cover this environmental disaster. You claim to be such a great newspaper. Good Lord. All you do is talk about Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. This is death. This is toxic. People have respiratory ailments. People have flesh-eating diseases. Our rivers are putrid. People can't let their kids out of their houses. And the media's forsaken us for making some cheap shots at our president. It's just unbelievable. 60 Minutes, where are you? Dateline, where are you? Frontline, where are you? I agree, Will. Only Fox is covering it. And, you know, I used to be a liberal until I realized they're full of you-know-what. They don't want to be true environmentalists. All the environmentalists out there, let's contact Earth Justice, contact Greenpeace, contact Rubio, contact Nelson, Scott. Locally here, let's contact Matt Caldwell. Bring them out here. If you're an attorney, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, please bear witness to this. We have people who come down here thinking they're going to have this wonderful vacation. They take their hard-earned money, and this is what they see. I'm a victim of that too. I retired early to take care of my mom because she was dying. And I took an early retirement, and I thought I'd found my paradise. And this is what it looks like. Exactly, Will. You go, Linda. Keep posting. Hi. Are you visiting?
Yes, ma'am. You?
I live here, and I'm on Facebook Live right now. Are you disappointed?
Yes.
Did anyone tell you that it was like this?
Not before we came. We looked, like, I guess the week before last, and saw, and then it said it had cleared up.
Yeah.
So we drove to Anna Maria Island yesterday.
How was that?
It was super nice, clear, like.
Where are you from?
We're from Kansas City.
Well, I'm sorry you have to come here and see this.
Do you have any suggestions?
I'm embarrassed for my state for not telling you the truth, honestly. I think if you go down an hour to Naples,
okay,
you might find some clean water. It's not perfect,
yeah,
but it isn't this.
This is the farthest south we've ever come to the Florida beaches. We usually go to like Pensacola.
Right.
Panama City.
Guess you learned your lesson the hard way. It's sad.
It is sad.
And I love my state, but until we're honest about these conditions.
From them dumping the water out of the lake?
Primarily from Lake Okeechobee discharges that sends all these excessive nutrients, which I'm sure in an agricultural state you're aware of that as an issue. We're an agricultural state too, but it's where the agriculture and the tourism meet that it's not pretty.
It's not, and it's sad that all these
so sad.
have to die.
And I hope you don't see any sea turtles. We've lost
we
huge
heard that
numbers.
yesterday,
Yeah. Ma'am, please don't let your kids go in the water.
We aren't.
Yeah.
We're not going in the water. We're just
Our town's derelict because they don't put any signs up, you know, and I think we should, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it sucks like when you come in from so far.
Yeah, you came a long way.
And to come to the beach when you don't have a beach anywhere near you, and then you can't even.
I know.
Right here.
It is unbelievable.
And the pictures are so pretty online.
Yep.
And so blue and clear.
Yep,
And it's
yep.
like,
That's what you see online, for sure. That's what I saw online. We bought in that building over there, and sometimes it looks real pretty, but increasingly it looks more like this, and no one's fixing it.
Yeah.
No one's doing it because it's all politics.
That's sad.
It's really sad. You know, and it's funny, folks from Kansas get it because you know about agriculture, but we're sort of divided between tourism and agriculture, so we're like not communicating enough.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It really is sad.
By the way, I love your town.
Oh, thank you.
I went there on a conference once. But yeah, you know, post on TripAdvisor, say something that this was, in a sense, dishonest. You were sold a bill of goods.
I do kind of feel like we were, and as much money as we spent, it's like really disappointing, especially with kids.
I know, especially with
what can you do? We make the best of everything wherever we go.
Yeah, so I go down to Naples if
Okay.
you want to swim.
Awesome.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you. Yeah, I feel really bad for these people. I mean, what? It's like theft. We're stealing these people's vacations and their hard-earned money. And they have kids? I mean, good Lord. So here's the critical wildlife area, right? And you're not supposed to rake any of the wrack. But look at the wrack. Right? The purpose of not raking the wrack is so the birds can eat the fish, right? And look at this. Look at this wrack. No one's gonna eat this. The birds are smarter than we are. They're not eating. They might even starve because there's no. Look at them. They're not fishing. They're not eating. They're just looking. They're smarter than we humans. I apologize, everybody. I know I'm a moderator, but I just don't feel moderate at all this morning. I am so outraged. Come on, New York Times. Come on, 60 Minutes. Where are you? Get your heads out of your Trump clouds and stop focusing on irrelevant stuff and come down and see our Katrina. This is our Katrina. It's happening now. This is a crisis. You covered the fires in California, New York Times. Cover us. We're at least on the East Coast. So, Will, yeah, I feel bad for those people. I feel ashamed and embarrassed that our community sells them this product that it's like cigarettes, you know? When my mom was pregnant with me, she was told by her doctor, you can keep your slim figure by smoking cigarettes throughout your pregnancies. This is before the Surgeon General's warning, and we made it illegal to not post something. Well, we need a Surgeon General's warning now on our beaches. But because certain classifications of toxins have no law, we continue to sell these modern day versions of addictive nicotine to unsuspecting people. People who come down on the beach pregnant, people with little kids. See, I sort of thought this was horrible, and I got involved, but now it's like, oh my God, it's like the Holocaust. No one could believe it. It was so outrageous. It was such a big thing. It was so outrageous. No one wanted to believe it was actually happening till after they let out photos of the concentration and death camps after World War II. But while it was happening, people refused to believe it was going on. The governments covered it up. They didn't want to talk about it. It wasn't part of their goals to win the war. And like here, it wasn't part of our governor's war against the recession of 2008. And now this is going on because we didn't buy the land south. We bought no land south to send more water south of the Everglades, and here we are. Englewood up to no good. They've been having issues too. I don't know about Englewood. I live on Fort Myers Beach. The footage I am showing you now is from the south end of Fort Myers Beach, the town on Estero Island in Lower Lee County. We're on the border between Lee and Collier County. So we're about an hour north of Naples. Red tide has been reported just south of us on Bonita and Barefoot Beach, two of our jewels of parks, as well as what you see across the way, Lover's Key, right? It just goes on and on. Look at this. Even people have the audacity to throw garbage in. Maybe because they just don't care anymore. Here's the water color. It's the color of diarrhea, like when you have loose stools. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. A little respite. Only hundreds of dead fish here, not thousands, because we're a little bit away from the pass. I hope those of you who are listening know attorneys, doctors, nurses, anyone. Tell them, make water quality a part of your daily conversation. That's the best thing all of you can do right now, even if you feel helpless, even if you're working 16-hour days and you're very busy in your life. Just make water quality a part of your daily conversation to raise awareness among the general public. A lot of people who are not on this page don't know what's going on. You got to talk. I live on the beach, and there are people in my apartment building who have no clue. So rather than vilify or attack those people, just go out and educate the public and share your outrage as I am about the conditions of our beaches here on Fort Myers Beach. Share that outrage. Speak truth. Post photos of truth. Do what I'm doing. I'm no expert. I'm just sad. I mean, I guess that's what it is, ultimately. I'm just sad. And for those of you who are ambivalent about seeing the economic benefit of being an environmentalist, green is green. It's not red. It's not blue. Green is green. A green planet is a prosperous planet. It is good for capitalism to be an environmentalist. They are not diametrically opposed. They're not in conflict. They are complementary. As the most advanced country on the planet, we should understand and advocate that environmentalism is capitalism. It should be hand in hand. We shouldn't buy into that false narrative that they're antagonistic, either from the left or the right. They don't get it. They should be hand in hand. to the beach conditions.
Oh,
Yeah, they're-
But I'm not coughing today. Been coughing a lot lately.
You've been coughing.
Yeah. But
Are you a visitor or
Yes.
you are? I'm
about
so
you?
sorry. I live here and I'm just so ashamed that visitors are not told the truth before they get here.
if they get on the internet, they'll know.
Yeah, I'm posting to a clean water page on Facebook right now and I'm just trying to document what's going on.
Today, it's more little fish.
Right.
Yesterday it was big fish.
Yes.
Saw like a 3-foot tarpon.
Did
saw a
you?
big turtle, stingray.
Here on Estero Island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today it's a lot of little fish and snakes. No idea there were so many snakes in the water.
Yeah. I know. It's like, oh, that's what I swim in ordinarily. Where are you visiting from?
Fort Lauderdale.
Uh-huh. How is it over there?
Oh, very clean. We don't have any shells. Barely.
Yeah.
We have, like that.
How about watercolor? Is it nice over there?
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue there, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as pretty as Sanibel when Sanibel is clean. It has turquoise green. Sanibel. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for visiting. Enjoy the birds. Great. Yeah, they live here. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, God. So, that poor lady visiting from Fort Lauderdale, she likes the birds, likes Sanibel. I guess she hasn't been to Sanibel because apparently it's even worse up there. Captiva reported Enterococcus. The so-called Healthy Beaches report, which is being defunded by our new EPA Director Andrew Wheeler. The only real fig leaf left to prevent people from going into poop-filled waters, that is being defunded by the EPA under the Trump administration. Again, those of you who are conservatives, I'm not trying to play the Trump card here, but that's the federal policy right now. The blame can be shared. My point being, that's like one of the few indicators of beach closings, and up in Gasparilla and Captiva today, South Sea Plantation, those beaches have reported heavy presence of Enterococcus. So I don't know what the source is. I'm not sure if there is even a connection to red tide, but those beaches, otherwise pristine, are closed today. I've only seen this after like a hurricane, maybe a few days later, if something happens out in the Gulf. But for those of you who are just tuning in now, I am on Fort Myers Beach, south end of Fort Myers Beach, on the barrier island of Estero Island in Lee County, Florida, southwest Florida. We are experiencing huge marine life mortality, as well as sea turtles in record numbers, dead drift algae, seagrass, piled high. I'm not sure what the birds can eat, but this is the result of decades of mismanagement on the part of the South Florida Water Management District. Make no mistake, this is not the Army Corps of Engineers. This is the South Florida ostensibly management, management. I say that with a lot of brackish water. As the lady visiting from Fort Lauderdale just said, today it's mostly small fish. We have had big fish kills yesterday, but it is low tide, so a lot of things change. There's lots of dead fish out there right now in the Gulf. And as the tides shift, we'll probably see different species adrift and cast upon the shores, depending on the winds, depending on the currents. I don't know if you can imagine how bad it smells. I mean, what did Mark Twain say? After 3 days, fish and guests begin to smell. These guests have now been here on our shores off and on for 3 months. Sometimes they're there in big numbers, sometimes they're not. But these lingering red tides, while you may read that they are natural occurrences, and they are, they've been documented since colonists started exploring the shores of the Gulf of Mexico. The fact is, the volume, intensity, and duration of these red tides is exacerbated by excessive nutrients floating down the Caloosahatchee River from Lake Okeechobee. Lake Okeechobee is 90% covered in blue-green algae due to excessive nutrients and high temperatures. And that is not just its surface levels, it is in the water column in that lake. Very well documented. If you do follow this page, you can see some of Jackie Thurlow Lipsich's aerial photography with her husband Ed. Casual tourists flying in have documented it. And that water then comes into our watershed, Estero Bay, the waters around Pine Island, and feeds what you see here. This is man-made. This is not natural. Please have this conversation with your loved ones. Please explain that this has gone on under both Democratic and Republican administrations here. The most recent culprit, however, is Rick Scott, who is a Republican. I am not making that partisan. I'm just stating the fact that we had an opportunity under him to purchase land, and we didn't. And that land would have allowed to lessen the discharges. Look at this water. I mean, look at it. When you get into it, it reminds me of when I lived in India. And in India, people are so oblivious, they get into the water to consecrate themselves. And it's as if our politicians are still consecrating themselves in these waters that they don't really look at but consider holy. Do holy waters do this to Mother Earth? Oh, here we go. What is this? Quite possibly one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. What do you think of the beach conditions? Bad. What do you think we should do? Are you local or visitor?
No, just a visitor.
Yeah. Were you told about this before you came?
No.
Do you feel duped?
No, I live in Florida. I knew
Oh, okay. So you're from Florida. Yeah. I live here, and I'm just like, I feel really sorry for you as a visitor. You know, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to the businesses that are trying to make a buck, but it's
not good.
It is not good. Where in Florida are you from?
Orlando.
Okay. Yeah. So you know about the whole Kissimmee restoration project there, right?
Not much.
Oh, okay.
You're not filming, are you?
I'm on Facebook, but don't worry, it's just a clean water page. I'm just shocked, and so are some of the viewers. Like that, someone just said that that's a ray. I was trying to identify what that was. Were you? Were you gonna go fishing?
Not a big fish.
Okay.
I gotta run. Take care.
Thank you. Ay. Who's gonna come back to this area when we're not honest? You know, at the very least, we could be honest and say, look, we're sorry right now. Please don't spend your money and come here. It's bad. It might get better in the future. But to just not tell people, it's breathtaking in its scope as theft. It's theft. We are stealing from people by not telling them what is going on here. Conversely, I think there's dereliction of duty on the part of our media, on the part of our elected officials, for not addressing this honestly. Well, I'll wrap it up because my throat hurts too badly now. I really am in pain. Please, folks, bear witness. Make this a part of your daily conversation. Tell people about what is going on here. Contact national media. Just keep at it. Even if they don't respond. If the 27,000 people on this page inundate the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, National Geographic, Earth Justice, Greenpeace, the EPA, the DEP, Lee County Commissioner's Office, anybody in a position of power, just send them the message, this is not acceptable. Thank you for listening, and I encourage you all to do what others have been doing and make people aware of what is going on here. Bye. Signing off, Fort Myers Beach, on what would otherwise be a pleasant Sunday morning in July.